We're going to start Better Bones collection right now, and I want you to begin with all your equipment nearby. You've got a ball or block, a hand towel, a chair, aerobic step, a TheraBand, some weights, a wall space, and a mat. Oh, that's a lot of stuff. We're going to start marching. We got our weights in our hands. And I'm going to recommend if you have a step, you're going to be right behind your step. Okay. So we're going to start with a simple rhythm. 1, 2, 3, tap on the step. Every time you tap up on that third count, you're going to do a bicep curl. So we're going to start defining the circulation in the upper and lower extremities. They both have a different rhythm right now. Don't overthink it. So you're going forward and back, of course, but see if you can notice when you're pushing forward with that tap, can you make it a heel tap instead of a toe tap? So just change it up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, heel tap. So let that heel push. You don't want to strike it so hard. You want to feel that you're recruiting your core muscles. You're kind of on this excursion right now to explore coordination and just starting to get that pulse in the body, starting to get the heart rate going, the warming up to begin to strengthen. 4, and tap, heel or toe. You get to choose. 2, and last one, march it out. Right foot is the lead. And we're going to step out and in, right foot is the lead. So it's like a V step, out and in. I'm going to give you the option to level up a little bit. So if you're comfortable, you're going to take a V step up on your bench. So out, and in. So lateral raises with the arms, they just go out. And each time you reach them out, notice the shoulder response, right? There's a little bit of definition in your shoulders when you reach out. So breathe, because it only helps. All right. 2 more. That's good news. Count down. Beyond the floor, take a V step, a wide stance, and then you're going to pulse so the knees move out and the pelvis is lowering to the degree that you can fulfill and integrate the stretch of the thighs and the strength together. Okay, so take the weights, both hands, palms facing towards you, weights forward towards the groins. And every time you lower down into that wide squat, you're going to pull the weights out and down. Perfect strength for our upper back. This is similar to rows, doing those rows that we do sometimes towards the end. But this way, we're starting to prime into our upper body strength and posture. So avoid rounding your back or slumping. I want to say don't do it, but avoid that. Noticing if it gets tiring for your shoulders to agree to this lift with the elbows to the side, you just pause with the arms and keep going into the wide squats. You can always put the weights at the tops of the thighs, right at the thigh lids instead. It's a perfect option. Okay. So let's go 4 more. Good. 3, breathe. 2. And then next time you come on downwards with the knees out, take the weights up to the shoulders, alternate raising your heels up. So heels up one at a time. So heel drops. So when you feel that lift from the ball of the foot to each heel, notice if you tend to kind of shift. I don't want you to shift or lean into the leg and tilt. I want you to stay straight down into the center, alternating heel lift. Breathe. Feel that alternating pulse. Okay, notice where that pulse is, it's vibration into the bones, and that's what we're trying to get into. is the heel drops are a vibration up. Breathe. Okay, now we're going to go with the weights up. So it's going to go up and down. I'm going to try to get both heels to go up and down. Okay, and I feel like my legs are going to just slide out. Okay, so you can bring your feet a little bit closer so you don't end up in the splits. Breathing, weights up. Okay, notice if you're trying to overexert with these arms here, which would mean you're just kind of throwing them up. So I want you to try to go, you're squeezing, right? You're squeezing the muscle when you lower down. There's some contracting work going on. Breathe, heels up if you can. If you can't, you just keep on moving your weights up. 4 more. 3, 2. Last one. March it out with the left foot as the lead. Bring the knees back right beside each other where they belong, where they once belong. Okay. We're going to go back to that 1, 2, 3 tap. We're going to start with the left side. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, and tap. And tap. It could be a toe tap. I'm going to give you complete option here. Heel or toe. You could kind of play with it. I don't know what I prefer. And the weights go up every time you tap up. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if there's a preference. I think for me right now, it's the toe tap because the heel tap, I tend to kind of sink a little bit. So just notice what allows you to build. Okay, you want to get points in the body. We're getting points for the bones. Bone pointers. 4 more. 3, 2, and here we go. So out, out, and in, out, out. And I prefer the V step up on the bench. I just prefer this because it gives me some more feedback to the movement. When I'm on the floor, if you don't have a step, you're on the floor. Okay, but this way I feel a little bit more feedback into my muscles. It has a nice rhythm to it. And if your arms are getting a little fatigued, take a break or just don't lift them as high, right? You can hold on to them firm, keeping the shoulders back. And what does that mean for you, right? With a consistent breath. If you're getting a little tired, bend the knees, really approach the step with strength all the way through each foot, solid whole foot on the step. Weights go out if possible. 3 more, count down. 2. All right, and this time when we come off the step, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to alternate knee up versus the wide squat because that doesn't really change if we go right to left side. It's simply a wide squat. We've already done it. So we're going to go with knees up, and I'm going to take the weights up. So I'm holding on to them, palms facing in, knees up. Okay, forward, one at a time. Right, we're almost always doing symmetrical arm work in here, almost always. But this one we can do individual leg, individual arm. Okay, and just notice, you don't have to go look in the mirror, but I want you to notice, can you keep your spine tall? The natural curves through the spine. Right? Breathe. Okay, now give this a try. Take the weights forward and hold. Okay, I wish they were lighter. I know they're actually pretty light, but it does feel like a little bit of work. Breathe. Okay, now heels on the step if you're near the step. Heel taps. Weights out and in. Out and in. Okay, and you want to find a complete connection into your chest and shoulders. The legs have to keep moving. It's a requirement for this class. Okay, loading the bones, the lower extremities, elbows out and in. 4, 3, 2, knees go up and knees up. I mean, they were already lifting up, but now foot up off the floor, knee raises up. 4, 3, 2. Bring your right foot up on your step into a lunge and lift and lower. Let's take a moment with the weights just next to your hips on the sides. Okay. I'm going to turn to the short end of my step so you can see. You don't need to flip to the short end of your step, but you're basically rolling through the feet. Okay. Yeah, this is the reason why having a shoe that's a little bit of a rocker, that's kind of nice because you just kind of flow with the shoe. But when you're going up and down, feel the back foot lift. Try it. Lift. Okay. Bicep curl is probably your most basic option, of course, just the bicep curl. Okay. Keep it simple so you're feeling kind of control in the lower body. So not swinging the weights very high. Now, feel that impact into the lunge. Caution, some of us have knee stuff. So the back heel is down. Okay, the right knee is just over the ankle, not over the toes. And bring your elbows by your sides. Push back and in. So we're going to do some tricep kickbacks here. So I'm trying to keep the front of my left thigh, okay, the back leg, keeping that in extension. So think about the front of the left thigh is also associated with connected closely to your lumbar spine, which is it gives 50% of the curve in our body is through the lumbar spine. The lumbar is only 5 vertebrae, but 50% comes from that space. And those are really thick vertebrae. Well, we want them to stay that way. So let the front of that left thigh stretch because that helps you correspond with this contour in the back so we don't cave in. Okay, we don't want to make it too much, right? We want to make it so that we can feel that support and that length in the back thigh. Okay, 4, this means with the weights. Breathe. Notice if you're turning your palms in when you come up to the bicep curl. I wasn't doing too well on that one. Okay. Now we're going to go corner to corner. So we're going to turn to the left. Okay. So we're going to go step, heel, back, and up. So leg curl, corner to corner. Okay. So corner to corner. Doesn't matter what corner you're on now. You're just going corner to corner. Okay. And you can play with this one when you get kind of closer to the edge, but I think it just makes sense to be behind the step. So leg curl. Okay, now shoulders back. Weights, you're just clutching onto them. You're in a permanent bicep curl. You're frozen in it. Okay. All right. Now take those weights back again. Palms facing in. Push back and in. Push back and in. So tricep kickbacks. If you can't tell, I'm doing a leg curl and I'm doing a tricep strength. So the back of my upper arm. Oh, it feels kind of good. It feels good. It's a little challenging. Breathe. 3, 2. All right. Now, left foot up on the step. Okay. So into a lunge. So lift and lower. And noticing the hip headlights are forward. This doesn't mean the back leg is going to be perfectly parallel. I definitely don't want the back leg for you to be turned out like this excessively. Find what helps you balance, though. So if you're capable of turning the back hip a little more forward, so when we get into that lumbar area focus, you're going to be accurate with the hip flexor. Just do the best you can. Okay, now see if you can get the weights to move either straight in front. Okay, again, don't overdo it. Don't toss the weights. Keep control. I'm rolling through my foot, stretching the foot in its own way. Breathe. It only helps. 4. That's the only mantra that you have to remember. Breathe. It only helps. Last one. Okay, so we're going to stay in our static lunge. So my back heel is down. Right hip flexor stretches lengthwise towards the right side of the abdomen. Okay, and then I keep the chest up. I'm going to bring the weights forward though. This will be interesting. You're going to do rows, right? Yeah, this is a good one to do with the band sometimes, but it's kind of nice to feel what it's like without the band. Right, so the elbows are going to squeeze back by the sides, chest is open. Left knee is tracking over the ankle. Breathe. All right. Okay, now feel as you're stretching open the chest and you're pulling back. Really work with this widening across the collarbones. Okay, so you're not sinking forward. In fact, it almost feels good, but kind of different, right, from my daily habits. So pulling. And your muscles will get a memory from some of these things we do, right? Building on, improving our posture and our balance. All right, now make sure you reinforce this right front thigh stretch before we come out of this one. Okay, so we're going to go corner to corner again. So I want you to pivot to the right corner of your step. Left foot is up. Make sure the whole shoe is on there. So I'm going to push off my left foot. Well, actually, my right foot's pushing up too. And I'm going to go heel up, leg curl. Now let's try moving the leg out this time because we're going to go into so much hip work. We got to get the hips a little bit more mobile here. So the knee is out. So if you can't quite see with it, knee out versus leg kicking back. Okay. Right. So kind of hiking the hip out. And just take caution here when you're moving your hip. If it's clicky, if it's a clicky hip, see if you can really work on your pressure with your foot on the step. Strengthen all the way up. Okay. Breathe. You can still move the leg if it's clicky, but see if you can find that inner lift. Okay. Arms out. Good work. Out. The knee goes out. It's lateral raises all over. Okay. No smiling required, but it's okay. All right. Breathe. Okay. So the left side was the lead on this one, right? 4, 3, 2. And we're going to do some step essentials, which is just up and down. So right foot up and down, just simple step essential. Okay. And finding that you get kind of busy with focusing on the heart. So that's important, right? We have some heart healthy moments where we're just working on making the pace maybe a little bit faster. Pace yourself. Some of us are going to go slower, some faster. Make sure you get your whole shoe, bicep curl added on the step. Okay. Feel push, push down for 2. Roll through the ball of the foot when you come down. Notice how you come down off the step. Okay. Try to roll through the ball, then the heel. Ball, heel. Ball, heel. And I don't want to overthink that. 4, 3. All we're going to do is switch the side. Now, here we go. Left foot taps up, stepping up. Good. So, step essentials. This is it. When you're not sure what to do, just step up and down and add some bicep curls. And then do squats, wide squats, wall sits, chair stands. That's really all the ingredients you need. Okay. So, 4, we try to make it a little more fun. Okay. 2, and then come down, and we're going to do side lunges. So got my weights on my hips, step out with the right foot, hips back, and then back together. Feet parallel. Okay, now what's different here is that we're really focusing deeply into the pelvis and the reaction in the femur and the hip. So I want you to be a little cautious on the reaction in the knee. So if I step out, I push my rear back as if I'm moving my fanny over towards the leg that steps out. So I'm pushing it behind me. Okay. Breathe. I want you to keep the weights at the hips for right now. So you can add that resistance to your femur here. So it's about the top of my thigh. Breathe out, hips back. Let me show from a different viewpoint. Hips back. Okay, sometimes I end up doing this. and I just do that. That's like the energy I have for it. So I want you to notice that's not good on the knee. So when I push off my left foot, I have to kind of get balance here. I push off and then I move my hips back and then I push back to center. So it's probably better if you go slower. Try not to step on your feet. That almost happens, doesn't it? Okay, so this is one where we want to do up to 3 sets of 15. We do get that in, so we add it to the chair and we do our side lunges with the towel. So that's how we get all of it in. But let's do 6 more here. So breathe. And you might notice a little bit of kind of heaviness in the body from this. It's kind of interesting. But we want to create that resistance here. Last one on each side, or last 2. Good work. Okay, take the feet to about regular squat, regular stance, hips distance, hips back. Okay, now I got my weights more towards the tops of my thighs. And as I reach back, I keep that natural curve through my lower back. But I have to be a little careful of that, right? I don't want to create more tension in my back. So as you come back, we're going to do a whole lot of loading here, a whole lot of bone loading. So feel the hinge at your hips. Keep your hips moving back. That's the name of the game here. Okay. Now, next time you hinge and you reach your hips back, tap your toes. Just alternating toe tapping. Don't worry if your knees aren't drawing as far forward as possible. You got to do what works for you. Okay. Yes, some people might go lower and some people might be a little higher. Okay. Try to be honest that you're pushing your rear back. That's about the main thing we're doing is hips hinging, rears back. 4, 3, 2, march it out. Okay, let's put our weights down for right now. Okay, get some water. And we're going to come back to our step. Hydrate. Okay. Hands free. Okay. All right. Now, so we're going to go 4, 3, 2, tap out to the sides, not on your step right now. We are going to get to it, but I want you to go out because we were just doing side lunges, regular squat. So this is nice to kind of free the hip, free the arms before we go to the intense wall sit. All right, now my whole foot is not touching down when I tap out to the side. It's just really the ball and the inner line of my foot. So it's my heel is up. The heel is up. All right. So now we're going to change it. We're going to go back, hands push forwards. And you can start going faster because you don't have the weights. Okay, that's why it picks up a little bit of a faster pace going on. Breathe. Okay, so you can tell we have toe tapping again. Okay, now feel when you go to the side that there's tapping. 4, 3, 2 and up on your step, tap. Okay. Purposely, I started out to the side so the coordination was a little challenged. Elbows in, you get the full, complete chest movement here. Elbows in. Keep tapping up on your step. You can let it be heel tap though if you like. Elbows close together. Okay, this is as close as I can get mine. And then alternating, raising up the arms. Okay, elbows close as you can get them. Breathe. Okay, arms out, stepping up and down. Circle the arms. Okay, circle the other direction. Breathe. Change the leading leg. So left foot up, circle the other direction. Who knows which direction? All right. Switch the direction. It's good to challenge ourselves. All right. Okay, now coming off the step, march it out with the right foot. We're going to go 3 directions. Right foot goes up, out, back, together. Left foot up, out, back, together. Right foot, out, back, together. Left foot, out, back, together. Up, out, back, together. Up, out, back, together. Okay, I'm trying to stand tall while I'm doing this versus hinging at my hips or leaning forward or pushing my hips back, any of that. I'm trying to stand tall. Okay, so kind of feel the lift up to the crown of the head and then see if you can get the leg as it goes up, out, back, so it doesn't step or tap down. Oops. Okay, so starting with that, I guess you have to kind of imagine you have as much height as possible and visualize that. One way to help your height is the lumbar curve, right? So we want to feel when we're stepping into our feet, the first part of our spine has that, it has the indent, it has the arch. It's the arching part of our back. Okay, so I want you to try to keep that lift in the ribs when you breathe. Okay, so as I inhale, the costals, the rib cage expands. Okay, and then I end up getting a little bit taller. Out, back, together. Last one, up, out, back, together. March it out. Good work. Okay. Yeah, that's a good exercise to do. So let's go ahead and come to the wall. We're going to get either a block or a ball. Now, if you have a block, I suppose don't get it yet, but you can leave it on a chair or a countertop because we'll end up using it. At some point, we're going to start to fulfill focus in the femur, the hip, the glutes. Okay. So you're going to come on back to the wall and place the ball if you have one. If you don't have one, don't even spend any energy being upset about it. But if you have one, it might be helpful. If you have one of those huge ones, right, you can use that too. Okay. I think those are called Theraballs, those big ones that you can sit on, and they're really nice for your back, I think. Okay. So lower and lift. If you don't have the ball, you're just sliding down, but not all the way to the floor, and lift. Take some time to get to know your body. Like, okay, when I'm lowering, what am I engaging? You know, so for me, I've spent enough time engaging the joints that's the first place I probably grip, which is not a great thing, right? That's our first go-to when we're living in our bodies, right? So what I want you to do is try to engage the muscles. So it might mean you go slower and more thoughtful. Like when I lower down, I can feel my legs. Maybe I just touch the legs, give them some awareness. Sometimes touch brings awareness. And when you go up, you feel that resistance. Okay. So what's interesting is even going up is where you create that total kind of bind at strengthening your legs. They're both directions are strengthening, right? You can feel the input. So take some time. If your knee is upset about this, which sometimes mine is, what I've been taught is don't go up and down a pulse, whether you're going up and down this way or you're pushing like a band out with the knees or those clamshell exercises, right? The idea is that you do more of an isometric exercise. You do a static hold because it allows the nervous system to have basically limited feedback, meaning pain. Okay, I don't have that. I can feel the resistance, but the pulsing sometimes irritates the joint. So for some of you, going up and down is going to be fine. And some of you go, I'm a little concerned. I'm going to go with what I know is the safe way. So you just come into the hold. Okay, so head back. Feel if the shoulders are rounding. Okay, that could be happening. I'm guilty of it sometimes. So I'm going to use the wall to give me feedback into my upper back. Whew. And if you want to reach back to your lower back, you can feel the curve, right? So if you don't have a ball, you're going to still want to make sure you have a curve in the lower back. Now, the ball, though, is at the back of my pelvis. This is just a kid toy ball. So it's at the back of my pelvis, but when I slide down, it does go to my curve a little bit, which is nice. But I don't want to give way. I want to still keep some integration into the inner lift of my body, right? So, okay, meaning don't slump. Simple enough. Okay, or easy enough. So shoulders back, spines up. A spine up is a curve in the lower back. Okay. Now I'm going to lower down the furthest I can go and take my feet apart a little bit more. Legs move out. That's going to bring you a little more stimulus into the muscle, less pain in the knee. Way better for our knees. Okay. And lower down, just notice, do you lower down pushing your hips back? I want you to lower down without pushing your hips back for right now. So a wall sit is like a full deal, right? With all the leg parts. Okay. So take about another few breaths here. Okay. The legs move a little bit out, right? They're not pushing in right now. Okay. Now, as I come up, now I've got to push my hips back. I just told you to go downwards with them. Now I want you to hinge at your hips so you can get up. So bring your hands to the wall, take the ball away, come on up and grab your block if you don't have a ball, placing the ball or the block between the knees. And I'm going to bring my knees in to squeeze the block or the ball. Now, if that doesn't work well and you feel a little bit kind of just pigeon toed, you just keep pushing your feet in, put the ball or block a little bit higher to the inner thigh. I just want you to have that feedback in the muscle, in the loop of the muscle activity. So if it's uncomfy in your joint, just put it a little higher. So you're going to reach your hips back for sure now, not touching the wall, just away from the wall. Okay, now if you need that feedback of the wall, though, you can get a little bit in front of it and just have that kind of tush tap. We call it tush tap. Okay, so some of us might feel a little bit out of balance here, like, oh, just tired maybe. So you can reach back to the wall. It's okay if that is helpful for you. Breathe. Okay, every time I go back, my feet, the balls of my feet, lift my toes up. So that's good strength work there. So if you're having trouble getting the foot to lift, the ball of the foot, not the heel, then you might go back to the wall just to kind of touch to it. And then each time you go back, you're try to stretch up the bottom of the foot a little bit. It's a good thing to do, strengthening up through the glutes. So the heels get all the intensity here. Breathe, hips back. Come up. Hips back. Come up. Now, don't worry if you're not squeezing the ball like crazy or the block. Don't worry about that. You actually are holding it. So that's enough nervous system response. It's trying to hold on to it. So next time we come back up, shoulders rolling just a few times because they've been kind of engaged here. Okay. All right, now coming on up to our lunge. So putting the ball or the block away, you're going to turn to the wall and have both hands so about shoulder or wider width. You decide. I'd say feel first the hands to the wall. Feel where the spine is lifting, not hunching over. Okay. Now, right foot steps forward, left leg reaches back. Okay, so I want you to get a feeling here of your lunge emphasis with the back heel down. So there's no lift and lower or bounciness, no bouncy in the bones here. So feel the back heel down, feel the hands push. Okay, and we're going to stretch the right leg back, opening the hip. Step the right foot forward and lift. Hands to the wall. Right leg reaches back, turning the hip open. Step forward and lift. Okay, now as I'm pushing, I'm also pushing with my legs right into my feet. Okay, and you might concentrate and kind of feel like you don't have the best balance, and that's okay. Part of this is kind of making these conversations with your bones, like the muscles, getting a little bit of pull and resistance to strengthen your bones. So I always feel like the class is really, you're having a conversation with all these parts. Okay. So they all have to integrate. So you stand up, you don't fall over. It's all important. Okay. And I wouldn't do this with weight. So some people I know wear weighted vests, but one of the issues with them is when you're doing balancing, the possibility of you falling over is just so much higher. So I would just keep it pure and simple you. Okay, last one. Now you can feel when you push the stretch in the back leg and the strength up into your lower back. So bring your arms out and back behind you. Open up the chest like you got, kind of jet airplane wings here. Okay, now here we go. We're going to try to step the left foot forward. So left foot forward, don't hit the wall. Right leg back. Sometimes it works. Sometimes you need the wall. Don't worry about it. Those days will happen. So you can just touch the wall and get yourself back together again. Okay, so right leg back, left foot forward. First, establish your base. Maybe hands free. Okay, and then leaning forward. Feel the lunge. Feel the back heel down. Okay, left leg reaches back. Hip is open. Step the left foot forwards. And reach. Press. Left leg back, open the hip. Okay, step forward. I know it takes a bundle of energy to lift up out of your bones. So just take it in stages, right? Learning how the compilation of movements, some of them make you feel successful and some don't. So it's a bit of a puzzle. So take some time to put it back together again. And then as you're reaching through the hip, turning the hip out, and then stepping forward and rising up. Okay, just a couple more. Yeah, each of these is part of the puzzle, right? So trying to put it together, feel the movement, kind of the swing in the hip. We want to have some suppleness in the hip. It's an amazing joint, right? And it can feel a little bit stiff and also a little fragile. Okay, so you want to find just that right blend that works for you. So last one, here we are. We have our arms rising up. Breathe. Okay, now this time, hands to the wall, left foot back, hands a little wider. I mean, maybe yours are already wide enough, but we're going to do push-ups. So I'm going to give you this option at the wall. And if you decide, nope, my push-ups are not pushing into my hands at a wall, here's your modification. Okay, you would get a band or tubing. They both work fine. You place it to your upper back area, about the shoulder blades, scapula base, and then you're just going to push. And I prefer this with the wall behind me, okay, because I can work on my posture. My shoulders are feeling the wall equally when I go back. I think they're both interesting. Wall push-ups, band pushes, they're both good. If you can do both of them, I do a little of each. Okay, or just go to the band because it's nice to have anyway, isn't it? Okay, so 4 more. Find the resistance when you bring the arms back this direction. That's where you build the bone, right? That's the resistance moment. So it's right. And bands are great because they help you do range of motion and resistance at the same time. Okay. All right. Now we're going to march it out. We're going to come on over to our step. Just because we've been kind of not, I wouldn't say we've been stagnant, but we haven't been doing any cardio patterns. We're going to go up and down. Here's what it'll imply. So up and down, step together, step together. Use your band. So if you were not doing the push up with the band, now we get to all join. And this is how it'll go. So it's stepping up and down, step together, up and down. Try to keep the chest lifting, heart up. If you get a little tired with the arms, don't worry. You can just hold the band or you can put it away if you don't care for it. That's all okay. Just keeping with the motions with the legs. That's what's important on this part. Okay. Okay, last one. Okay. And change side. This one's not easy. You have to actually intentionally come off with the left foot. It's not an easy coordinated motion to switch sides on that one. Okay, noticing if the knees are getting a little wiggly, if you're getting tired, it's going to start to happen. Okay, like noodles. All right, so 4 more. Breathe. Okay, push. Elbows by my sides, push. All right. Okay, last one. Okay, now I want you to just come up on your step. So step all the way up, go to the right side of the step, hold the band behind you till the palms face forwards. Got it? Okay. Holding on, chest open. Right leg's going to go out and back in. I'm going to show you 2 variations. So out and in, or out, cross in front of the left leg, out, then step back center. Okay. So I like a blend of the 2 because here's what you could do is you could step center, well, not center of the step, but both feet down, pushing. And then you can go out, in, out, across, out, and step together. Okay, so that might be a good one for you. Try to keep the chest open. So maybe that foot doesn't completely meet the step, but the other foot. Okay, if your legs are feeling really noodly, just know you're not alone. Okay, so 1 more. I'm going out, lateral, then back in towards the left foot. And then I'm going to go back out, across the left leg, out. Good. That's pretty advanced. Okay. So stretch the left calf. So the left heel, you don't have to make circles on your step, but I will show you. So left heel reaches down, stretch the left calf. You can move your band back off of the rear to give a little bit more sense of circulation in the chest. You could never really do this one enough with your chest stretch. It could never be enough because we're so forward folding posture of our daily habit. It's just so rounded. So you can never really emphasize this one enough. Okay. So it's very helpful for the heart, the arterial flow. There's plenty of research on that for the heart with stretching this area. So I always find that pretty motivating. Okay. And then relax the shoulders a little bit. Come to the left side. So both feet on the step on the left side. Take your band in front. Bring it overhead. If this is too much on your shoulder joint, it's in front of the chest. No worries. Overhead, front of the chest. You might even decide, no, I really like this overhead. It feels pretty strengthening. You might bring it behind your head and bend your elbows. Okay. All right. So bending the knees. Left leg goes out. Barely touches the step to my right foot. Left leg goes out. Across the right leg. Out. And then step into both feet. Right? So kind of play with it. Now, if you're not interested in this type of choreography or momentum and balance, just skip it. You can just go leg out and in. You do not have to go with all and I might even forget one of them. Okay, I'll do my best. Cross, out, stepping. Okay, so feel that the body has an ability to exchange. I think I missed moving the leg in. Has the ability to exchange, balance, ownership in the bones. It's the load transfer as your focus, your weight shift. Okay. I think I like the leg crossing the most. I don't like it, but I think it's the one where I can gain some balance and coordination and weight shifting. Okay. Last one. Notice the load transfer in the standing leg. Whoop. If you need to step out of it, that's okay. Ooh, and now that right leg, stretch the calf. If your band is over behind you, maybe bring it back behind you because who doesn't need more of this? Okay, shoulders back, chest open, natural curve of the spine. Just breathe. Okay, feel that right calf as it stretches. Feel the front of that right hip. Feel the lower belly. Okay, not that it has to be a certain direction or pulling a certain way. Just noticing your connection to the breathing in those areas. There's no breathing muscles in the belly, but there's a diaphragm that pushes down through the belly, right? And so that's how we are able to stimulate the lymph nodes, right, in the belly. And so there's so much that we do when we exercise for wellness. Okay. All right. Now we're going to let go of the band. We're going to still need it though for a little bit longer. So take your step, put it aside, get your chair. And what you'll need from here on out will be your chair, your towel. If you have a mat, and if you have an extra pillow or towel or blanket like I have that I'll put under my head in a little while when I'm on my back, not right here. Okay, so we're going to place our towel on the floor next to under our right foot, actually. And once you're on that towel, you can get some water if you need to. Okay. So holding the chair is great if you have a tall chair, right? Otherwise, I'm kind of slumping. So if you use the chair, use it just as a support, just like something to touch onto so you know your directions. So right now my knees are kind of locking back. So I'm going to bend the knees. And then when I slide the right foot out and pull back in, this is where you can notice the weight shifting, right? We just did this when we were balancing on the step. It's kind of nice to blend it now into some resistance work. So we go out and we slide. And if you get a little twirly with your knee pushing out and your foot kind of rotating, try to keep it parallel, this right foot. Yeah, don't let it swirl around and pivot. You want to keep that foot so it's solid all the way to the heel. Okay. So hips move back. I can always improve on this. Get back to the Winter Olympics here. This is where you'll remember these movements. Okay. So hands could be on hips, can be waist, it could be at the chair. Yeah, I find it all good. I mean, I think I get so programmed to being with the hips, then maybe I round my core too much. So maybe hands on the waist, the side ommenals is helpful. And this could be sleepy muscles here on the side ommenals. You know, you'll notice that. But so when we're leaning the hips back, pull, zip it up, hinge, slide the leg in. Okay. Switch sides. Keep it simple. Yeah, I'm not perfect with the hip movement, but what I really do like to emphasize is the engagement in the inner thighs, the pelvic floor, right? So it's going up the adductor. So out, my right heel is down. Okay, my work is in hips back. That's where I can make some improvements. And we all can, right? We all know, oh, I could improve on this. Or if this is achy, maybe for you, maybe if you're like, oh, this is hurting, it's too much ache. Okay, maybe for you, it would be like this. You hold the chair and you're doing squats. Okay, that's okay. So if you're feeling the movement is the pulsing's too much for any reason, no worries. You can take it to a different level of awareness with it. Still similar, but you've got to really program for yourself. Okay. So let's do a couple more. Now remember, we can always improve on hips back, everyone. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. So let's get our mat. And I want you to have your band. You can be with or without your shoes. You're completely in charge of that. You're an adult. You can make those decisions. Do you wear shoes or not? But it's recommended for most of the class, you know. I would say that's one of our things is to make sure they're wearing appropriate shoes. But this piece, part of this is to create connections from my feet. My ankle mobility is a big piece of falling issues, is to create some stability, mobility, right? Both in your ankles. Okay. So I find this to be why I would go without my shoes. But again, it's if you've been advised, don't take your shoes off when you exercise, then you keep them on. Okay. So I got my band, I got my chair. I have a little extra height on it. It's actually for the end of class, is why I added it nowadays, but I change up my reasons all the time. So I'm going to place my bone direction so it's facing away from the chair, which can be a little vulnerable because I'm going to try to sit on it. So I'm going to make sure I'm really close. I'm going to bend the knees. Okay. So what might be good for you to learn is some of us we're more pigeon toed. We all have a different like posture with our feet. Okay. Some of them are similar than others. So I want you just to notice when you bend your knees, it can kind of help you root from the ball to the heel sometimes. Sometimes it's really positive. So hinge at the hips, maybe sit down. Remember, you can stack up some blankets or towels on your chair and make it so much more comfortable. Not just the padding, but that you feel like you don't have to go as far back, which is fine. So heels up when I come up, then heels down when I rise. Hinge at the hips, come back. Look at your legs. Are your knees pointing out a little bit? Good. Pointing out a little bit as I come back. So I'm actually on this whole ramp of strength through my leg. So if I come up and that's okay. But when I go back, it's hurting my knee. What I'm going to do is not choose to sit. Okay. So you've got to make a commitment to only sit when you're okay with it. Okay. All right. So let's go 4 more. It could be a full chair stand commitment. Heels up. Then you rise up. Breathe. Hold. You can do these without a band, but I don't necessarily think that's next level. I like the support and resistance of the band. Okay. All right. Now come back and commit to sit, whether you have just decided to stay in the chair or not. Roll your shoulders back. Take the legs reaching forward, heels down, toes up, flex the feet, and then just get your hands to the edges of the band and reach the band under your feet. I know we have to lean forward to get the band there sometimes, but when you come back on up, you're going to pull. Elbows are going to go right by your sides. Okay. 7. So try to squeeze the elbows inwards towards the sides. Breathe. So by now you've begun to kind of recognize the connection in the core muscles. Okay, so as we're pulling, we want to keep the chest just simply open, the heart lifted. Breathe. Okay, all right, let go. Now, if it's possible to come to the floor, toss your band next to your mat, and then you're going to come on down. Okay, you're going to definitely want to use, if you have an extra towel or blanket, place that on your mat. It could be a pillow, throw pillow, towel, blanket, so you have a little support for your neck. Once you're on your back, make the appropriate height with your blanket or towel. You're going to be the decider. What feels like your neck isn't tightening, right? So if your neck is feeling like it's a lot of pulling, a lot of resistance, or you can tell when your throat gets uncomfortable, right? That's a lot of lymph here. It's only at C1, C2, but that's an area to notice if it's relaxed. So that's why it's something under your head can be good. Okay, so take a band. It does feel nice to have the legs resting. Okay, bring the right knee in and take the band into your right foot and stretch up. Okay, so I'm going to move the band to the ball of my foot. It'll make it even better if I get both hamstrings and leg parts kind of refreshed before I just relax onto the chair. So, kind of notice as we let our spine elongate, taking gravity off the spine, the weight of your head is not pushing on it. So just let your head relax. You don't have to hold anything up right now. You can let the floor support your whole spine. Left foot comes up, switch sides, right leg down. Just feel where the contours of the body are. This is a good time to kind of map how gravity flows through the body. And just feel that extension of the back of the left thigh. And also reversing the gravitational pull on the front of the leg, which is where we spend a lot of energy here, is the quads when we're stepping, all the way up, right, and around to the hip and the glutes. So just reversing the gravitational pull on those muscles. Bend the left knee, Take the band off and then let your legs rest on the chair. Arms can be open, they can be goalpost, they could be straight out. And it's also okay to have them down by your sides. So, kind of tracing not just the spatial outline, but also the inner awareness. So, if you're feeling a lot of tension, this is the time to see if you can go from all the strength work, all the resistance, and get the nervous system to down regulate. Because that's part of the whole bones thing is the cortisol, right? So, if you've got a high level, it tends to leach calcium. So, I would say just kind of notice how you can go from kind of the highs to the lows, right? And how you can go into the heart rate going up. And then a part of strength work, right? And cardio work is how can I bring it back down? How can I lower the blood pressure now, right? How can I lower the heart rate? So see if you can coordinate that awareness. I this is kind of a compartmentalized part of my life, right? I can go from maybe something that's stressful and then it's just this is my go-to, right? Is this these practices. So see what you can do right now just to relax your neck, your facial muscles, letting the bottom teeth relax away from the top teeth. Most importantly, refreshing the heart by having the legs lifted up. Okay, so filling the belly like a balloon, fill it up and let it go. Slide the legs in. If you feel like you want to stay with the legs up the chair longer, it's okay. You can stay. And then those of us that are starting to shift out will hold the legs at the back of the legs and rock a little side to side. Just feel that momentum through the back of the pelvis and the lower back. If it feels good for the hips, let the knees go a little bit further over to each side. It can feel very nice and soothing to massage at the back of the pelvis. And then roll to a side. Let your hands support you to come up to sitting. Once you feel your sitting balance from sitting bones all the way up the spine into the brain. Let's bring our shoulders back. Let our head tip to one side just for a second, not too far, and then to the other side. Come back into concentrating, hands to heart. Take a slow breath in, uniting our breath. And as we exhale, bowing into the heart.